tenemos una familia de Connecticut. Es mi abuela, Mema Herkimer, Lydia Herkimer. Me llamo Serena Epstein, Herkimer Epstein, Rae Epstein. Y mi mamá es Grace Carita Herkimer Epstein. And Mr. Paul Epstein, Polly. And it's Becky's wedding, Becky and John, 2007, 7707. And we...
Originally what I heard was that 5 doctors came up to go hunting.
To Darlington.
And one of them was the place they now call the castle. And that was where Dr. Martin lived. And then there was a place built, a camp below us down the hill from the Crooked House. And I think he lasted part of 1 year. Another one rented space in a hotel, motel, whatever, in Cornwall CT. The other ones were, I don't really remember hearing about them.
So this is all revolving around Darlington initially.
Well, let me ask...
Yeah, that was just Darlington at that point.
And then let me ask this. So William Clarke was your grandfather, correct?
No, he was my father.
He was your father. See, I already had that wrong. So William Clarke was your father, and you guys lived in New York, outside of the city?
New Jersey.
You were in New Jersey at this point. And when you were in New Jersey...
Teaneck, New Jersey.
Pardon me?
Teaneck? What town?
Where we live, Tenafly.
Tenafly, New Jersey. Why and who chose to purchase the land in Cornwall, Connecticut that is now Dark Entry Forest Association?
That was my dad.
That was your dad chose?
And Dodie read some letters or some old newspapers or something like that, and learned that someone remembered Dorothy, my cousin, playing in the brook when she was little, and she was like 25, 30 years old than I am. So that does go back to the beginning of the century.
Yeah.
There was Dr. Banks, who was...
Around 1900?
Yeah. And Dr. Banks was Dr. Clarke's father-in-law initially. And you asked him about a second wife or something like
Yeah,
that?
well, first of all, before we get to his second wife, what kind of medicine did he study? Did your dad study?
What kind did he study?
He was just a doctor.
Pathology.
Pathology?
They put it on your map as far as medical school is concerned. They didn't have pathology.
How did they find out about the land in Cornwall? Was it just like they saw
I don't know.
1,000 acres and decided to buy it?
Oh, it was up for grabs. Nobody's paying back taxes.
Okay.
So we bought it cheap.
Oh, you got it cheap. And what did you, from your knowledge, was his original mission statement? Like the reason why he wanted to purchase 1,000 acres of land? Was there a purpose for it, do you think, in your mind?
He always was a person who liked the land, especially the woods and trees. And if you look at it today, it's a forest. And when he looked at it, half of it was fields. Because I remember fields over there. It seems so strange. They were all totally grown up.
Did they use it for agriculture back then? Did William at all? Like haying fields for mulching hay for horses?
You mean your great-grandfather?
Yeah, him or any of his friends or his...
No, because it was a summer endeavor.
Okay.
We had a cow we borrowed for the summer.
Oh, did you? Good.
And that little tar paper barn.
Yeah.
And we had goats up there, and they cleared the land very nicely.
Goats are good at that.
Yeah, they, just put their little feet and climb up. I watched them do that in Milton until the branch of the tree bends over. And they strip the leaves off and let go, and the tree bounces up, and it dies. After you've had that happen to you a few times, it really cleared everything all out.
So did he build the 40-room brick house between Dudley Hill and Bald Mountain after he purchased land? He then
We bought a farm adjacent to the Dark Entry land. And on that we had a farm, a barn, 2 barns and a house. And we lived there until we got the big house built. And we moved in about 1931. I believe it was 31.
And when and how did the 40-room brick house leave the family? How did it leave the Herkimer Clarke?
2 people co-owned it at that point, and I was offered it. And I told Josephine, you've been paying your taxes on it for the last 20 years. That's your decision. So she gave it to my brother Bill, who probably sold it.
Did he owned it with Joe?
Joe, yeah. And she,
No.
she
He
had-
paid for it?
No. She gave it to him.
Who paid for it? Bill?
The house belonged to your dad. Then how did it get passed on to
It was half.
your brother?
Partly we had a thing called a depression.
Right.
And Joe had a mortgage on it, on your grandfather.
Right.
And then when your grandfather died, my mother said she felt like a ghost in that house. And she wanted to build on Cape Cod, which she did. And that was with her portion of the big house.
There's William Clarke the fourth.
Yep.
Yeah, say
Talking
hi.
about your great great.
Come over here.
If you want, say hi to me.
It's a
We're
William
talking
Clarke.
about the brick house.
I got my buddy's stack party. Okay? Bye. Huh? Oh, I will.
We'll be up in Cornwall August 11th for the Knotweed Pool. I don't know if you'll be up there. It's a Saturday. Kim and Judy are hosting it.
I won't. That's the
That's
Greenwich
just-
2 mile.
Oh, that's your Greenwich 2
I won't
mile.
do that.
Oh.
You guys can go. I'm just saying
We can go pull that way.
I probably won't. Unless I come up from there.
Bye.
Hey guys. Bye, Paul.
Okay.
Bye, nice meeting you. Bye.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
So
let's,
as I understand it, so your father and Aunt Joe co-owned the big house, and then at some point after your dad died, your Aunt Joe was trying to figure out what to do with it. She offered it to you,
She wasn't in.
and you didn't want it or something.
No, I
Financially.
definitely didn't.
And so she gave it to Uncle Bill, who then turned around and sold it.
who's Bill is your uncle? Or
No, her brother.
brother. You guys say.
I called him Uncle
Yeah.
Bill, but it's Willie's
It's
Willie's grandfather. Or
Yeah.
And he sold all the farmland.
He sold all the farm.
350 acres, something like that.
And this was the farmland that was adjacent to Dark Entry Forest, but not part of Dark
but he
Entry
didn't.
Forest.
But he didn't sell the house in Cape Cod. That still exists in the farm.
Which house are we talking about?
The one in Eastham.
No,
My
we're not talking about.
brother Stephen was the executor of my mother's will, and he sold it. I never saw it. I don't even know where it was.
Sold what?
It was
House
not
in
the
Cape
Easton
Cod.
Oh,
house.
because there's another house in Cape Cod.
Like
It's
six-
still-
Some of the money that Bill acquired purchased it,
I see.
including some that I gave him.
So let's move on to so who was William Clarke's who was your mother and who was his second wife? And
My
how
mother was the second wife.
Oh, okay, wait, hold on.
First one.
The first wife was
Was Uncle Bill's mother, or Bill?
Harriet.
And she
Her brother Bill's mother was William Clarke's first wife.
okay. And
First
then
wife's, yeah.
William
was-
Clarke's second wife spent time in what was her
Now,
name?
first one.
Korea.
Carita?
Marita.
That's mom's
Harriet
middle
was the
name.
one. The
Harriet's
story
Grace
is
Carita.
Okay. So Harriet's full name is Harriet Clarke?
Harriet was my father's first wife. I
First
didn't meet her. She was dead.
She was dead, okay.
So she had Uncle Bill or William Clarke the second was the son of Harriet.
Yep.
Carita had two children,
Okay.
Stephen
And Lydia.
Stephen was
Yep. I remember Stephen.
Lydia's older brother. Yeah.
So, Harriet, what was Harriet's last name? It was Clarke. Harriet
Her
Clarke.
maiden name. What was her maiden name?
I don't know.
I think it was Banks.
Banks. Harriet Banks. So she spent time in New York, or in New Jersey.
Tenafly, New Jersey.
Tenafly, New Jersey. What? I know. Spent time in New Jersey, and did she spend time in Cornwall at Dark Entry with
I
William?
wasn't born
You
yet.
weren't born yet, okay. So what do you know about how she died? Because it's
The
under my impression
stories,
that the stories in all, apparently 2,000 websites and all these books,
Yeah.
I didn't know how bad they were, but my friend pulled out this book of like ghost towns in Connecticut. I've never read any of the
And
stories.
if we'd had the money, that person would have been sued to Kingdom Come.
Yeah, they were saying like I didn't even know what was said, and people were like, "Why don't you look and actually see it?" And I was like, "Okay."
He left her alone to die.
He left
in
her
the
alone to
woods.
die in the woods because the ghost took her life
all
and
garbage.
da 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 da. So what's your opinion on the story?
That book is the last I knew.
Yep.
It's in the library in Torrington under lock and key because it was old history.
Yep.
And you never could take it out. You could look at it.
Yep.
This wonderful old book, which is actually a pretty good bunch of lies. And it's still there as old history
Yep.
of all these W towns, a terrible place. Somebody fell off the roof and died. And a Native American shot a Caucasian. That never happened anywhere except W town. Old man Bacon, whom I took care of, a nice old man.
Yeah.
Wrote some nice stuff. I still have it, unless Bobby has it. He told about what W town was. People trying to make a living where they had to make the houses they had to carve into granite. He said that's what gave them their strength when they left there. It wasn't the place you could live. He just put
you down for just a minute.
They got out of there.
Okay. We'll give you a call when we get that.
Because of the location?
Maybe we can.
Yeah, just because of the location.
Totally inaccessible.
Totally inaccessible.
And not years worth of water. You dry up.
Yeah, it's very dry, and just the land, the topography, the way the mountains are.
The rocks.
It's all rocks. It's all cliffs. So, what's your knowledge of how Harriet Banks or Clarke died? I mean, I've heard my story, I was told, is that she was manic depressant and she took her life in a hospital in New York. That's what my impression has been from
That's as
family.
close as
As
I
close
would
as
be
we
able to get to the truth.
Okay. So I guess my only questions are, I guess, how would you like to see the future? Let me see.
More family.
Isn't it pretty here though?
Bye, ladies.
I'll see you tonight, right?
Bye,
About
Blondie.
the card? Or no?
Yeah, you going?
Yeah, we'll be stopping by. Yeah. So I'll see you.
What are you wearing there?
I know, that's why I just asked Naomi. I said, change it. Stop it. Stop it.
Dark Entry, we're talking about Dark Entry Forest.
Yes.
Don't stop. It's a ghost.
Pause it.
No.
It's a ghost.
Yeah, it's a film.
Oh, so I have a
allowed to.
clear. I thought it was
dressy. I didn't know it was going to be casual.
If you didn't have the same dress, you wouldn't even know it existed. It fascinates me.
Yeah.
Is it filming?
And then, like, in the car, her jeans and t-shirt.
I didn't bring any jeans with
Personality
me.
is
I'm so
totally
mad.
different.
No, wait.
I don't have any that'll fit you.
I
do have jeans.
I have extra clothes in my car.
Have extra in the car.
I don't have another shirt.
So before
I
we
have
move
shirts.
on,
Yeah, I have a lot of clothes in my car.
before we move on to the last
She's
question,
going to be in a dress because
were you aware I was in Borders with Matt? We were looking at books, and the movie. There's 2 movies coming out. I don't know if you're aware. And listen to this: in Borders, there's a book accompanying the movie called The Dudley Town Curse.
You want to see something?
And so I was wondering your opinion on the films that are coming out.
Dudley Town money.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah.
Malarkey.
Elisa, you have to keep filming.
Complete malarkey.
You know, I talked to somebody this weekend at this workshop.
Yeah.
Oh, Dudley Town. Oh, the
Massachusetts?
ghost. Oh, no, that town just disappeared. I said,
What do you think caused all that hype about that?
The person who wrote the first book,
Just
it made money. When we used to go up there hiking and camping and stuff, when your mother was young, Kim made a big sign. And mud's this deep if you want to get in there to see what the Dudley Town city is. Kim made a big sign and he hung it up on a tree. You are now in the middle of the city, sucker. That summed it up for us.
but they love it. The article I remember reading some time ago said, you have to understand, New England loves ghost stories. They like that thrill. They like that.
because I guess they're really
mystery.
bored with their lives. I
People
don't know.
still like, look at television.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Yep, you got
The
it.
warrior, the better.
Have you
When the
ever-
woods isn't enough, they need to look for something more.
Have you guys, any of you, been there during a Halloween when all the people? I remember used to hearing about it when I was little. You've been there. How many people showed up?
one clutter of Boy Scouts, and we were up behind the stone wall making noises trying to sound like bobcats, and they turned around and left.
And told all kinds of stories. I saw in a website where the person put on photographs of these white splotches that were the spirits.
All fiction, just nonsense.
Serena, in the early
Yeah.
1970s,
Yeah.
I used to camp there on weekends with Mom when
Yeah.
I was at Einstein in the Bronx. We'd
Yeah.
go every weekend and camp out. And we always took Axe with us, the first cat. And the Axe was a little bit psychotic.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah, she had problems. And so we always took her with us. And we were hiking through Dudleytown one day, and we came across an entire cabal of about 20 or 30 middle